Good morning, children. So, yesterday we have started to discuss about the second chapter of the history, that is, New Kings and Kingdoms. In this chapter, we have seen that how some new dynasties have emerged in our subcontinent in the medieval periods. In medieval period, various dynasties like Shavanas, Rashtrakutas, Palas, Cholas, all these dynasties have emerged, as well as we have also seen that how some subordinate of the kings became the rulers or the kings. That means the Samantas became Mahasamantas, as well as the Brahmanas, whose a basic profession was to pray or was to being a priest. They completely give up their traditional profession, and they became the ruler or the kshatriyas by performing various kind of rituals like Hiranyagarha. So all these things we have seen in the last period, and today we are going to see that how the kings were giving the land grants or the grants to the people, and how these all the things were recorded in some copper plates and all that. So today we are going to understand about the Prashastis and land grants, as well as we are going to understand about how it was recorded on the copper plates, what was the warfare for the wealth, all these things, and as well as about the Chola dynasty, one of the ruling dynasty in the medieval period in our Indian subcontinent. We are going to discuss in this period. So let us begin. So Prashastis. Prashastis contain details that may not be literally true, but they tell us how rulers wanted to depict themselves as valiant, victorious warriors. For example, these were composed by learned brahmanas who occasionally helped in the administration. That means the Prashastis were the recordings on some flat surface or on the copper plates, and these Prashastis were in praise of the kings and rulers of that time. Yes, it is also very important to understand that these kind of Prashastis were not actually the truth. Sometimes some exaggerations were done, or some kind of exaggerations were recorded on these kind of Prashastis. So these were recorded by the learned Brahmanas, and who were occasionally helped in the administration. Yes, the Brahmanas were helping the kings and kingdoms to rule the dynasty. They were giving the different ideas, or they were helping the kings by their guidance. So here, as you can see, these kind of copper plates, on these kind of copper plates, the Prashastis were recorded. What were written on these Prashastis? The Prashastis means the in praise of God, in praise of the king. The meaning of Prashasti means what? In praise of kings. So in these Prashastis, all the things like how the king was brave, how he has gifted the lands and all that to the people. In that way, all these things were recorded onto the Prashastis. Kings often rewarded Brahmanas by grants of land. These were recorded on copper plates, as you can see over here. On such kind of copper plates, which were given to those means who? To the Brahmanas who normally received the land grants. Not only to the Brahmanas, but also to some other peoples also. Those who were receiving the land grants, all these kind of land grants were recorded on such kind of plates. Now, the next point that we are going to see is the warfare for wealth. You may have noticed that each of these ruling dynasties was based in specific region. If you will see the map of our country of the medieval period, political map of our country in the medieval period, in that you will see the different regions, different dynasties were ruling in different way. So at the same time, these all the dynasties tried to control on other areas also. One particularly prized area was the city of Kannauj. One such city where this kind of warfares for getting a control over that land of Kannauj, a complete warfare was taken place by the different rulers of the different dynasties. So what was happening over here? That in the Kannauj city, which is situated in the Ganga Valley, for many centuries, rulers belonging to the Gurjara Pratihara, Rashtrakutas, and Palas, these kind of different dynasties rulers have tried to control over the Kannauj. As you can see in this map, here the Kannauj is located. Here it is the ruling area of the Palas. Here it is the ruling area of uh, we can see Rashtrakutas. In this way, here it is the region of Gurjara Pratihara. So all these three rulers or different rulers of the three different dynasties were trying to control over the Kannauj region. Why they were and because of this fact that these three different dynasties rulers were trying to control over the Kannauj and they were fighting continuously with each other, this struggle or this struggle by the three different parties from the three different regions was called as the tripartite struggle. It was described as tripartite struggle. The historians are normally describing this fact as the tripartite struggle, as one Gurjara Pratihara, Rashtrakutas, and Palas. These three rulers or three different dynasties rulers were continuously fighting for the Kannauj region to get control over it. Due to this reason, historians call this struggle of three different parties as the tripartite struggle. Uh, as we will see, rulers also tried to demonstrate their power and resources by building large temples. So when they attacked one another's kingdoms, they often chose to target temples which were sometimes extremely rich. You will read about this in the chapter number 5, that how the different rulers, when they were attacking on different uh, kingdoms, they first of all attacking over the temples and whatever the resources were there that were the symbol of the wealth and power of the different ruler or the king. One of the best known such ruler is Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. What he did, he was belonging to the Afghanistan. He came and he ruled from 997 AD to 1030 AD and extended the control over the parts of the Central Asia, Iran, and northwestern part of the subcontinent. He raided the subcontinent almost every year. His targets were wealthy temples. What were his target basically? His targets were basically the wealthy temples. He was attacking onto the wealthy temples and he was taking off all the wealth from the temples, including that one of the example is there Somnath of Gujarat temple. On the Somnath temple of the Gujarat, Sultan Mahmud Ghazni attacked and he taken out most of the wealth from that temple. Much of the wealth Mahmud carried away was used to create a splendid capital city of Ghazni. He was interested in finding out more about the people he conquered and entrusted a scholar named Al-Baruni to write an account of the subcontinent. This Arabic work known as the Kitab al-Hind. Children, please remember this, that Al-Baruni has written the book known as Kitab al-Hind. And in this book, um, he consulted Sanskrit scholars to prepare this account. Actually, this book was a kind of an account. Other kings who engaged in warfare include the Chamanas, later known as the Chauhans, who ruled over the region around Delhi and Ajmer. they attempted to expand their control to the west and the east, where they were opposed by the Chalukyas of the Gujarat uh, and the Gahadabalas of the western Uttar Pradesh. The base known Chavana ruler was Prithviraj III, who defeated an Afghan ruler named Sultan Mahmud Ghori in 1991, but lost to him very next year in 1192. Now, the another thing that we are going to discuss is the from Uraiyar to Thanjavur. In the Chola, we are going to see. Yes. So, who were the Cholas? Cholas were the rulers or the ruling dynasty of the southern part of the country. They have set their kingdom in the southern part of the country, including the region of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, some parts of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. All these regions were under the control of Cholas. So, Cholas uh, how did the Cholas rise to power? How they have received the power? A minor chiefly family known as the Muttarayar held power in the Kaveri Delta. They were the subordinate to the Pallava king of the Kanchipuram. Vijayalaya, who belonged to the ancient chiefly family of the Cholas from Urayur, captured the delta from the Muttarayar in the middle of the 9th century. He built the town of Thanjavur and a temple for goddess Nishumbha Sudini there in that region. The successors of the Vijayalaya conquered neighboring region and the kingdom grew in size and power. The Pandyan and Pallava territories to the south and north were made part of this kingdom. Raja I, considered the most powerful ruler of the Chola dynasty, and he became king in 1985 and expanded the control over the most of these areas. He also recognized the administration of the empire. Raja's son Rajendra I continued his policies and even raided the Ganga Valley, Sri Lanka, and countries of the Southeast Asia, developing a navy for these expeditions. In this way, the Chola dynasties have conquered the southern part of the subcontinent. Keep this in mind that this region, as the Cholas were the subordinates to the Pallava kings. The very important point to remember is the Cholas were the subordinates of the Pallava kings. So in this way, uh, the Chola dynasty has started their region to develop in the southern part of the country. Some remaining facts related to the Chola dynasty we are going to understand in the next period. Thank you very much.